a little shaky,
yeah,
it also shows how seriously they're taking this matchup. And they're here to prove that they are a land champion level team.
it's time to do it. They've earned their experience. They've earned their respect. They've had their chances before, but this one's a big one. A lot on the line. Not to mention a good amount of time as well for that wound to really sink in. NAVI choosing Mirage in terms of the battlefield to kick off this best of three. They'll have to start the party on the T side. They've got a smoke still for Fullmatch and NAVI's first contact here towards mid window. A lot of presence here for NAVI bottom mid.
This map is heavily in favor of NAVI getting into Mirage. It used to be a map that I think a lot of people studied Gambit on. I feel like they were incredibly powerful on it. Their T defaults, slow and crawling, but almost always were able to put so much pressure and break the best of the best teams. But lately, the wins haven't been there. Now the exec is coming on.
Inter's in the corner. Oh, he spots him on the flyby. Still, 4 headshots. Perfect from Gambit. Perfect.
It's the $500,000 matchup. Gambit won the first round.
NAVI didn't have any pressure. I think it's almost like when they fly by Inters there, everybody turns back attention because the player didn't clear him as he's coming off of the balcony. He falls down instead, so it kind of drew everybody like, who's going to handle this? And then in that moment of hesitation and that moment of curiosity, we get NAVI on site, just total killer. So Gambit, they draw first blood.
That's a clean one. And they do it denying the plant. They get 3 SMGs in the mix. So they're going to be happy to kick all these engagements. And just a slight investment to, I think, look for the opportunities to take the SMGs out. I think it's an understood game here. At least NAVI are the ones who, know what kind of buy Gambit will have. And Gambit reading, there will be no full force. They're looking to do some damage. And then Gambit are going to need all the kind of free rounds or 50-50 rounds they can get just to make this game competitive, really leaning towards NAVI, at least on Mirage. Cool to hear that Ancient was a surprise as Blade continued to be honest about everything. Big smile on your face. We haven't seen Ancient at the last 2 lands.
Yeah,
for the last 2 lands.
For the last 2 Blast events.
Yeah,
nothing at fall finals, and now the final match. The entire year, it gets to rear its ugly head. I sympathize with you as well, man. The fact that Blade is honest.
Yeah.
Tells us it caught him off.
There's so much map control has actually been taken quite effectively here from NAVI. Sure, I'll have some pressure put on the ramp. He's got an MP9, so I don't know. We'll see if he plays close or on Tetris. He's got a teammate in the A ramp, which frees him up a little bit. But NAVI are getting very, very close. The rotations are going to be hard if any of these kills come down on the ramp.
It's just the explode. Time to pop. Ramp man comes back, peeks along with it. Hobbit and Shiro, good for the first 2. Axile comes through murder hole, and then NAVI on that CT rotate, guns down the double. It's 4 players alive for Gambit in back-to-back rounds.
That's very tricky. It's Gambit's, one main focus for Gambit is what their ultra passive setups. They might be the best team in the last year that we've seen. That's the thing about them. You get all this map control, you get all this space, and you think these are the keys to success. And then as soon as you cross a certain line, that's when they pull the trigger. The rotations are absolutely perfect. Of course, we're seeing the most amount of top 15 players in the server that we'd get in any other matchup. The performers on Gambit, absolutely extraordinary this year to match up with NAVI.
Ooh, Fullmatch. There it is. NAVI going to get an early man advantage. He is very much on his own towards middle, so very... Ooh, hold on. I was going to say crucial kill. Shiro trades it back with the frag versus Perfecto. Hobbit able to get right back down. And no other player pushing through that palace smoke. It was just the one-man foray. Good flash. Shiro assisting Hobbit and making the most of that MP9. From a 5v4 to a 2v4. Now Fullmatch has a little bit more life in him. The only player for NAVI to do anything this round as everybody else fell on their attempt to exit A, and that will be his graveyard too. 3 for Gambit off the 4v5.
Yeah, it's a confidence call as well to get Shiro on the op. If they lose that round, it's incredibly expensive. And they won the last round so cleanly as well. So he could have bought up another rifle or something like that and just waited it out because he's got MP9 surrounding him. Of course, they are going up against a full buy, but that's the 3-0 start. The setup looks fantastic. Shiro's there with impact, getting leverage, and he is the 3rd performer, individually speaking, at this event.
Ooh, a little reminder of what they can pull off. Follow-up damage here too. Axile, not a comfortable spot whatsoever. Both of these kills coming in from Electronic. Gambit all of a sudden a little shaky, and Shiro falls off with that one shot towards top mid. It's this player in bottom that's bit. It's a nervous one.
The setup right now, they can actually float quite a bit because they have pushed up deep B apps control, so they're not super concerned about that. In the early round, they also still have a weapons advantage and this utility. And as long as Inters is posted up in this position, I think they should be searching out as much info as they possibly can get. And we're crossing the minute, but we're actually going back over towards the A site. A very interesting call here. Inters will not be able to hear that. But the CT's still floating about.
A1S grab from the bottom of middle. Bit just timed it.
And a real problem with A in this situation is there's no smoke grenade to use for NAVI. So this plant is going to be anything but free.
Yeah, gonna need guns up, eyes open.
Well, what they potentially can do is try to molly CT/ticket, and then they can get a plant off. But that's what they got to be thinking about right now.
They've got to think about it with 30 seconds left. And if that's the solution to Shiro, then we're still looking towards Hobbit in jungle to possibly offer something, but Shiro's missed shot's gonna give them a little bit more leeway, a little more wiggle room, just a bit of runway. Commitment to the spray here from Hobbit. Very clean for the 2K. Perfecto gets bomb back up, and even though there's no molly here on Shiro, Perfecto's still able to plant. Bit uses that M4 to get man advantage, and this means it falls on Inters. Now he's flanking pretty quick, and Perfecto just checked it. This has been timed to a T. And Perfecto, yeah, easy victim. Now, Bit was last spotted up towards Palace, so Inter should have that fresh in his mind. There's utility here on the play as well, including the smoke for bomb. This should make things a little easier for Inters. But does he want this kill? Or does he oh, that little bit of a peek, that little bit of a drive-by, and Bit 3 kills in the round.
He had no armor on that round as well. They barely invested, so that is the conversion for NAVI. It is a gritty struggle all the way to the end, and a very nice attempt from Inters to find that flank off, but it's a jackknife frag from Electronic to scare everybody, and then a second to make things really, really bad. NAVI did a great job of just not taking damage in the middle of that round, staying alive, avoiding those floating riflers around A, and then a smart call from Fullmatch to take the A site. They made that work, but they had to go all the way to wit's end.
Double op setup, immediately out of Gambit. Axile going to be swinging the second. That's a double deagle from Electronic and a 3-piece from Bit. Oh, but Electronic falls first.
Shiro missed a lot of shots last round. And one stat for him is, you know, he doesn't rotate very much, but his accuracy is insanely high, so it's not something you're used to seeing from him.
Utility damage setting this one up nicely for Gambit. Could definitely help considering they've got that FAMAS and the UMP in the mix. Evens out these duels versus the 3 AK players of NAVI. Another smoke inside window. Nafany's gonna hear that audio cue. He's seeing this in his mind's eye, figuring out the picture. Catwalk though, looking very susceptible. Molotov close. Gambit maybe piecing together a read here. We do have the lean. Sure enough, Nafany gonna be trying to get into position. Simple hit as he flies over. Hoppit's gonna end him. Perfecto's got the answer, and so does Bit. 3 AK headshots coming in for this T side, but remember, they're low. And again, the clock is 2. Nafany with a bit of positioning here towards column, taking damage, but also delivering. Perfecto's dropped, and Bit responds. Shiro with the op in the 1v2, and he's got a difficult choice, a difficult decision that leads him to the save.
This is going to be an amazing match, actually. Yeah,
feels it, right?
Yeah, the CS is really... Yesterday, we got a little bit of a weird one between NAVI and Liquid, and I was feeling like NAVI were not playing on their forum and everything like that. But right now, I think they're hitting some key metrics. They're like not taking a lot of damage in these defaults. And here, it's a 4v5 situation, but they do a good job of getting positional compensation, taking over Cat. Also, Bit is having a hell of a match already with 1 clutch to his name. 3K on the entries on a full rifle round, and that is a round where Gambit invest a lot. They put down money for 2 ops actually to grab one on Axile as well, and it looks like they're almost about to get the hold, but Gambit are giving NAVI a lot of respect, and with some teams you give them respect and you give them space, and they don't use it properly, and they still fumble the ball, and that's where Gambit will pounce on you. But with NAVI right now, with the way they're using middle control, it's perfect. They're not losing anything. In that round, they got the opening kill taken away from them, but they're getting so much back.
Really emphasizing the stakes here. We are 5 rounds deep. First pause called. Both coaches who deserve praise, tons of it, for these rosters.
Yeah,
gonna have a chance to input.
I know we talked about top 2 on that little fun death segment, but Groove has to be in the conversation, man, for what he's done. This organization as a whole has proved a ton for what they can do with FPS players this year. Actually extraordinary stuff. And again, Gambit are just a top team in the world. They're not a team that floats between tier 1 and tier 2. They're a consistent threat. They, yes, still have questions when it comes to LAN, and winning a LAN like this would be a huge statement, and it would make a huge mark on the year with only, you know, five or so events that are going to be able to prove that. And Gambit have been top 4, but not grabbed that win, you know, and that's what has caused some debate about exactly how good are they. Now, Shiro will carry this op forward, but Navi are taking out the pawns right now, so Inter's going down, weakens Shiro in one way or another.
It's a good position for Shiro, seeing as if this apartment's follow-through happens, then he's just going to turn around and catch it, but this kill makes it all the better. Now he can fully focus on apps. This would be a hell of a round for Shiro to deliver. A pistol versus pistol, as the Glock of Electronic falls down from apps, but now everybody's kind of hesitating. They know this Opera's here. Oh, NAVI even going to be able to find Perfecto. Suddenly things are getting a little more interesting. And this is buying time for Hobbit to wrap around towards Market. Shiro, he's playing patient, simple, slowly crouching wide, but he's not going to be given this angle, not given the shot. The nade's what he needs. A dunk down on Shiro. Oh, and that ends it.
The composure from Shiro was exquisite. To see him on Cat, holding that angle, the natural thing to do, of course, is to just spot the cross on the site. Oh, NAVI tries to get the off. That gets denied as well. A great shot from Simple on top of the HE to get them into the round. So that is an enormous round. Simple's first 3 kills of the game so far, actually. And, of course, they have tons of impact written all over them. Hobbit will get one and get away. But look, man, the fact that Shiro sees people jumping out onto the site, but knows that they're going to be scared of him, realizes he has to take a risk. And the way that he takes a risk is just by holding his line, making sure that if they cross a certain point, you will get the frag. NAVI just searching, waiting for him to overface, go a little bit deeper. He never does it.
Yep.
And I just loved that you got to see both how much they respected Shiro and also how much Shiro understood that. Wow, that's the opener. This shot was also really cool. He waited. How often do you see an opera just shoot right away?
I love the fact that they figured out his position. I mean, they knew he was still down there.
It's a beautiful thing to see that all come down to utility at the very end.
Yep. Utility, the unsung hero. Simple right back to this attempt at the B pick. Quarter of his health gone to the frag grenade. He falls back. Fullmatch takes a little bit of a peek into the A site, sees nothing. NAVI very much putting out their feelers here.
Interesting. The jump spot actually comes into play. Simple forgoes using his car molly or van molly. Just wait it out. NAVI, your team have been moving slower and slower lately, but they're always working. And we can see how aggressive they were about mid control, but not picking a site until very late. Now they just wait to see if Gambit are going to finally take an aggressive CT look in mid. And the A-side attack slowly creeps on. Fullmatch has already made his way out to Tetris.
Is this an underplayed site? I mean, we've got nobody back on Ticket, nobody up on Palace.
I think it's okay. The Ticket rotator can actually be very slow. He doesn't always have to fight. It's just about these moments right here, right before the exec actually comes in. Who wins these duels? And it's, yeah, Gambit will take one. So they're not scared.
Just gonna lean back.
Yeah, especially with the 5v4 now. They have to believe in the retake. They want to get some spam damage off, but they just don't want to die. Oh, man. Axile.
And the push.
Yeah, off of Ticket.
Hobbit with the double. Chance at another one here as Electronic crosses over. It's a perfect outcome from Gambit.
Yeah.
5 strong at the end of it. Nearly a team ace, but NAVI not needed. That patience towards Ticket.
Yeah, the most Gambit of rounds, you know. You could say that you're wasting material to just have someone sitting in Ticket too early if it was never in the game plan for that guy to take contact. But what do NAVI want? They want that fight if possible. So Gambit have other plans. They wait patiently. They get their opportunity, and it's off of Axel, who is going to be the most loose piece playing around Cat. He'll have the biggest vision cone for most of the round, and you know you have to trust him with that rifle. He's had some questions about his T sides. On the CT side, he is comfortable taking liberties. Hell, I've even seen Axel jump out of the window sometimes.
Do what you got to do. That's simplest thoughts right now, as the single op is what NAVI will have to work with.
Definitely some quality rounds back and forth, man. I can't help but feel like either team right now would just be crushing anyone else.
It's a good game of CS, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
Starting to piece itself together. Little run boost here, desperation. Work with what you got. And right now it's little. Passive from Axile. Can't forget. Oh, you can't forget. Gambit, you have already given NAVI one of these quote-unquote impossible rounds to win, but nice reposition here from Axile, catching Bit as he jumps in through that middle window. Simple's off is posted, and that's 2 now for the Undertaker. He's looking for more targets. We've got a player making sound inside of ladder. That's going to be information for Inters. Perfecto also just kind of romping around inside of the apps. That AK that Simple was able to drop and Boomich recovered is taken aback, out of the control of NAVI. Still Simple within jungle, and time is of the essence. 20 seconds. Hobbit locked into this fight versus Simple, and that's going to buy time for the push to come closer towards the A site. Shiro drops a shot. Incendiary over towards Triple. An attack from the back. USP in hand, and he's down. Hobbit not able to find his target, but there's a challenge from Perfecto that offers up the bomb, and Simple gives cover again. NAVI pulling one out.
Yeah, just with the op in play. That's it. That's all they had to really make that happen. And it's the double boost in window, so you got to think, all right, why would Axel peek here inside of Cat? He got his kill in window. There was some threat, but how often do you boost 2 into the window? That's why Simple expected someone to eventually peek. What a last shot, too. That could have actually been a free kill for Inters. That's an unbelievable shot. I mean, that's the op out in the open, plus they have to plant the bomb, and Inters could jump on that.
4-4 off the back of that. 2 of the round win. Oh, a push. Disrespectful from NAVI. Excellent timing here from Gambit. It's in the head-to-head gun rounds that we've seen Gambit's best. It's in the rounds they're supposed to win that NAVI pull off what seems like the miraculous.
But I will say it's not one of those games where a team is like choking, where they only can win the pistoling rounds. NAVI are working hella hard on all these rounds. They're just, you know, there's some magic to the ones with pistols, but honestly, they still look really, really strong on these full rifles too. Gambit just actually looked that much better. So, all right, we've already got an even higher step up from Gambit here with this opening tactic to take one down. Opportunity miss for Shiro, but he'll spot one coming in late at mid. Well, I say late, it's still a minute up.
Ooh, Exile's cap position catching Perfecto. We've also got NAVI left side window.
He kind of just passes him the ball, right? Shiro sees Perfecto coming out of underpass, so Axel's on full alert.
Again, those rifle rounds where it just gets stripped apart, like so meticulously, right?
Oh, such
textbook.
Such good connections being made here. Every
single position.
Yeah.
Every single kill.
It's crazy to think that you can come up, you know, with tricky spots to play on a map like Mirage that everyone knows so well, but Gambit are doing it.
Now Electronic with the impossible 1v5 single kill, and Gambit are going to take it back. They're making it hard for themselves by not being able to just clamp down on those lesser weapon rounds.
Yeah, no,
but I'm all for it because it's interesting.
Yeah, it's sick. I mean, it's a very popular matchup. They've gone head-to-head in a lot of important tournaments this year, and these are 2 teams that know each other. So a lot of these rounds, there's going to be some extremely high-level mind games that you know, are beyond minds like mine, and they'll be playing against tendencies they've seen from each other in recent memory, what they think they're going to do next, and we might see some plays that look a little bit stupid or a little bit weird, but it's actually just because they're trying to go a couple levels deep. Because right now, if they play the CS that they saw them play last time, it's the other team that's going to win.
Yeah, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Viewing it without context isn't going to give you the biggest picture.
That tactic and execution's perfect, and Axile gets used just tastefully off of Cat. He's getting just the one kill, not even close to a chance of him dying. Perfectly, you know, using his timing with the smoke as well, that he's buying a few seconds to jump up on the signpost on the towards B, and that's what's got him 2 important rifle round kills. And now Na'Vi are onto 2 Tech-9s in this buy.
One of which solo towards the apps. Oh, Axile going for it. Oh, almost an extension there from Axile that could have got him caught. Bit top mid giving cover to Fullmatch, whose Tech-9 has already been able to foray into the connector, and Bit will still pick up that duel. So extending or not, Axile gonna fall out to that cover, and Fullmatch gets his hands on an A1S.
Yeah, A site is a little bit weird now. So, you know, we talk about sometimes having somebody inside a ticket, but Hobbit is playing within smokes in the site, so he has to play for himself. Now, off the side of default, you got a nice line towards connector, lots of timings there, and versus A ramp. If you don't get pre-fired, it could be good. Fullmatch just kind of have an opponent creeping up on him, but I don't know how. Oh yeah, Shiro's looking for this. He's waiting for this. Yeah. He actually misses the shot. Oh, but Hobbit, he retains some compensation. They know Inters is just B anchoring and holding it down, and the rotation actually looks pretty good from Na'Vi. They've scared him a little bit on this side of the map. On the mini-map, it looked like Inters was close, but I really don't think there's any chance he heard the footsteps.
Fullmatch goes for the split. He makes the jump through window room. This is going to be very much Inters tested here, 1 versus 3. The fact that Fullmatch survived that nade with 2 health and was able to drop down Shiro. Now Inters confirming that they're here, and he's just going to tuck himself back into the cover. He's got 92, and there's Bit to answer. 17 health for what's left of Na'Vi, 17 seconds as that bomb began to be planted, and Hobbit has a difficult decision. Do you save this off?
He's done. They have no HP, but he does not know. He's too far away, and he had the op right in front of him. If he just had that rifle, and of course, maybe a little bit more HP for himself, he'd think about it, but it was the kill on Inters that was everything. I like that Inters took a step out of the market, and he was thinking, maybe I should go overstack A with my teammate, but then really read Na'Vi well here. I think the call from Na'Vi was super pragmatic to take it to the B site, knowing Inters was alive with no information, and the pressure was just on the A half of the map. Wow, another really hard-fought round for Na'Vi, and they pull it out, man.
Dude,
this has been 10 rounds just incredibly close. Such fine margins.
Yeah, every foot, every inch, tooth and nail, these two teams.
That was a costly miss, though, from Shiro. A couple of bad rounds from him, even though he's had some impact as well.
Fair to say. We've got Hobbit actually taking the top for Gambit, 13-5. Is it fair to say Gambit, one of those players who you can actually rely on in some of the biggest games?
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely. And on Mirage is something I think about all the time, especially on T side. So finding impact on T side's always a little harder for for any CS players, honestly. And Hobbit, I feel like, is somebody who shows that Gambit are more dynamic than just that slow playing team. He's going to be the guy running a ramp every once in a while and finding an opening kill. And I think he imbues his team with confidence, right, when he does something like that, because he is the one holding the mantle in the form of a major for the whole roster and showing them what is possible, what heights they really can achieve. He's the absolute champion of this team right now.
NAVI not too far behind him here this evening. 11 kills to Hobbit's 13. I think NAVI's also somebody who's stepped up throughout this event as one of the heavier hitters for Gambit.
In an amazing year, you know, conversation for one of the best IGLs for sure.
Bit up close, dying out to speak of the devil. NAVI with the opening kill. Now Electronic could make a play knowing that these CTs have extended, but that would be a dangerous game to play with Hobbit having that focus upon him. So NAVI just sulks back.
Yeah.
This heavy alien leaving very little presence towards middle. A bit of a diversion from what we've had since Gambit started this CT side.
Yeah. It's a gift in your lap to be able to take mid control like this, so it's not that, you know, Navi should absolutely take advantage of that. That's free mad control. You can use that in the late rounds. It's Gambit who want to play this game. If any other team played like this, I would be way more worried for them, but Gambit, this is their comfort zone. Almost every single CT death, it feels like, gets traded within milliseconds. And when they've got a 5v4 especially, that's when they're cooling. Inter's going through the smoke in upper B, I think. Oh no, he's just tucked. Okay, he's just gonna wait. I was saying this actually changed the game for them.
Navi on the cusp of just sinking their teeth into this A site. NAVI in a bit of a pickle, turns his attention back, executes Fullmatch. That's a big pickup because now all of a sudden everybody else is just funneled into this A site where Hobbit's ready to go pound for pound with every player. Another one of these ridiculously clean rifle rounds from Gambit.
Insane. I can't believe NAVI gets that kill. He believed in the timing, he believed in his crosshair placement, and he didn't have the HP to make that look like a convincing spot to be in when Fullmatch swings. And that would be assisting in the collapse of the whole site, but instead what happens is this kill right here, you can't be understated. That is such an enormous frag to grab. And Axile, once again, it feels like a 1-2 punch. Every time NAVI does something on A, Axile feels like he could take the risk, look off of Cat, and help out. No trade in sight. Wow, some amazing moves being made between the two of them.
Rewards for their hard work here. Gambit just going to be facing the Deagles of Navi. Unarmored for the most part, barring Fullmatch and Simple. And 2 smokes in this equation as well, so the brain of Fullmatch gonna need to piece together some type of play.
Underrated, but those jump spots are perfect.
NAVI playing out in the open, keeping it crisp versus Bit. Axile here to lend a helping hand. It's Simple to answer with something, and even following up with damage versus NAVI. Look at Shiro as well. 26 health for the 2 players still in mid.
Yeah, I know we want to get excited about it, but now that they've kind of lost those fights, let's see if he can peel back a little bit more. Shiro's still retaining window. Listen, there's a timing to get into the ladder room and put some pressure on him that way, but I don't know if they'll find it. Yeah, maybe they will.
Shiro's not ready for that. Oh no.
That's kind of a mistake by Shiro. He's a bit foggy, right? They don't have Axile on Cat. They're not spotting it. That was wait,
another one.
Oh, and those are the 2 players that are low.
Bro, for the 3rd time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. A flank off the top of mid?
Yeah, this is from T-Spawn. This has been a long con from Hobbit. Inter's gonna get the confirmation of the movement. This could actually activate Hobbit a little bit faster as he fires. Simple gets it. A missed movement. Inter's in. It's electronic down at the last hurdle. Gambit again, the heart attack moment. But this one they survive.
Oh, they got the info a little bit too late. They heard his little shoes hit the ground inside of the B apps, but it was just a bit too late. Inter's obviously stone-faced, but I'm sure that'll make you break a sweat a little bit. Nice shot here from Electronic. They took every opportunity they could. Again, they're working the map so well. The one gap there, the one exploitable weakness was the ladder room. Tashiro holding that angle. They found it. They are squeezing water from stone at every single turn, but Gambit got a little bit of clutch here. They're really strong versus the full rifle rounds. They're edging this out, and this would be a big win, man. This would be a big win. Just the fact that it's Mirage. It's been an incredibly standout map for Navi overall.
Man, by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah. So they're 8-2 in recent memory.
Oof.
Not much here out of Perfecto this game, and Navi are 8-2 on Mirage in for all the relevant results all the way going back to the fall groups. The only 2 losses they have are 16-14 versus Heroic and 11-16 versus Gambit. So despite Gambit overall not having a strong Mirage recently, they at least know that they can beat Navi.
Shiro with the deep peek. Takes 20 damage, but walks away with Perfecto's scalp.
Man, because of the other players right now, they're buying so much time for Shiro to shake it off, get comfortable.
Bit almost clears that, but they're so nicely tethered, right? We've seen multiple different setups from Gambit so far in some of these rounds where it's just like dominoes. The kills get toppled against Navi, and this one a good example of it. Feels like, frags from spots we've seen for the first time and just keeping these fresh. Over and over, Gambit gonna move smoothly through this one. Finally getting away from those pistols without too hard of a cost. Gambit 8-5 the lead here on this CT side. 2 more rounds to ice it out.
Yeah, it will be a conversation on the desk that the few rounds that Navi won have come off of these half-buy wins and everything like that. It doesn't do it justice to say that that's, that represents how well Navi have been playing, because they've worked hella hard in every single one, brought some very close situations, but Gambit just that much better right now. Wow, they'll go for the fast look on mid like that. It's just been given to them every single time. not in a single aggressive CT start out mid.
Oh,
No, it's with the molly.
Oh, and he still comes back.
Oh, he's brave enough to just take that duel.
Whoa.
That's why he's the player he is, you know?
Yeah.
That's why he's the player he is right now. He knows exactly where... He knows exactly where the edges of the cards are.
Inters doesn't want to fall to that cat peak if Bit decides to make his play. Fullmatch will, in the meantime, though, go through jungle and catch NAVI back turn. This could draw them away from that B site, where Inters was so intently waiting. So instead, he decides to activate. Now, Bit's still up in the ladder. He just saw the head of Simple.
You know, oh, wow, man, look at the spread right now from Navi. They are everywhere. They're holding on to everything, and they have lots of time to do it. It's a perfect default at the moment. The funny part is we have great answers from Gambit in all of these 3 different positions. If Axel tunes in at the right time and Inters and Hobbit wins his first kill, they could somehow pull this back, but this is the maximum amount of pressure.
Oh, there it is. Hobbit activates. There's already a player Tetris, so that's an easy answer back from Electronic. He's going to give cover. Ready for the Shiro duel on ticket. Jumping up, Inters takes damage. Oh, and that just moved the crosshair there from Shiro. 4v1 and a single point of HP here for Shiro. Done at the hands of Perfecto. A 6th round win from Navi, trying to keep this half as close as can be.
Dude, they had all the synapses firing there. Navi were on full alert. They had a really, really strong moment, especially when Bit finds this weakness. That's crazy because we see him move off the angle like, oh, he's so unlucky. But it's actually because they very carefully put that Molotov down to put pressure on that position while Axel cleared it. And Bit saw that Molotov, and he's like, well, it's a little bit deep. I have a second here. They're not going to expect me to come down the ladder. And those are the liberties that define Bit. A player who started out this year insanely disciplined to the point that it was crippling, and now it's starting to open up.
Yeah, he's letting loose. And so will NAVI here, taking to the top of middle. A deep foray and a fallback through the connector just as Bit decides to come sniffing in mid. Everybody's kind of left him here to his own devices. Problem is, if you give him too much room to work, he's going to punish it. Vents popped, draws attention. Bit goes for his play, but NAVI cuts him short. We've seen a lot of these rifle rounds be very clean to the favor of Gambit, and they could add one more to the tally here to close out this CT side. Minute left in a 3v5, and Shiro gets the best of Electronic. No trade here from Simple, and no way to do that as the jungle opera moves all the way towards Ticket. Very comfortable moment here for Gambit to end this CT side. Perfecto and Simple need to combine, and at least they'll burn out Hobbit. Then there's a follow-up. Simple will get 1 frag off of that op, and it's a 49 HP Perfecto in the 1v3. He's piecing together the picture, but he falls. At the hands of Axile, Gambit will get that 3-round lead. A stellar CT side.
Hey guys, Kerrigan here. Right now we're watching CSGO screenshots, and I'm doing that versus Fullmatch, and hope you enjoy the content. Jesus man, this one is tough.
It's 2 things in my head. Maybe it's map the overpass or ancient.
Actually, it's not tough. So this is definitely on vertical, like we're building something.
I remember like it's something red, top of an A site on overpass, like a red billboard on A site on overpass, but I didn't remember this screen.
T-spawn is probably there, around the T-spawn area. Could be A as well, so I'll go with T-spawn.
But like, yeah, I will say it's maybe the overpass. Like top of on A side maybe, but I'm not sure. It's really hard.
Yeah, it was A, man. I knew there was something above up there. I knew it. I was about to say that.
I don't have chance on this map because Navi not playing Vertigo, so.
What map is this?
Let me think.
It's for sure Nuke because of the textures. I'm pretty sure it's Nuke. Now I'm just thinking where it is.
I don't know what this position, but I think it's the nuke maybe.
That would be probably the locker room on the window, you know, like above, on the heaven. There's a locker room where you shoot the windows. I think it's there.
It's in lobby.
Aha, but it's nuke, 1 point, easy. I'm pretty sure it's Dust 2.
I think it's Dust 2, B side. Like, then you're going tunnel for T side, and right corner, it's their car staying.
It can only be where the car area is, where the car is on B. That's what I'm thinking, above there, but...
A 3-round lead for Gambit and a trifecta of impact between NAVI, Hobbit, and Axile. Those are the 3 shining stars so far after the CT side of Gambit. Any final thoughts of that first half to get off your chest before this one starts?
What a beautiful half of CS. It might have been the most beautiful so far that I've got to cast this tournament. Really love that. Every second of it. That was vegetables. You know, we got a lot of sugar, but that was just clean.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, that was good. I really feel fulfilled after that one. So hopefully we've got some more. It's crazy to see NAVI on the other side of that coin, and some amazing rounds won by them on those half buys. A lot of ingenuity, but still Gambit looking that much better.
Betway odds still having NAVI as the favorites as they trickle into this B site. 2 men down for Gambit. NAVI, stellar first hold. Soon the smoke will fade and everyone on display for Gambit. There's going to be nowhere to run. There is nowhere to hide.
Yes, sir.
You just walked into the Bear's Den and you are getting shredded. But Axile's got a little fight left in him. That's 2 clean headshots.
He's got no teammates to worry about. Oh, okay.
Boomich with the drive-by, slide-by.
Yeah.
And that's NAVI to close the distance immediately on the defense.
He just hit the NAS. He just hit the NAS and swung it. That's a nice round. Makes the game close, which is perfect. The CT side from NAVI on this map is absolutely beautiful. My favorite CT side of any team on Mirage. I love how they work around B. So let's see if they can put enough pressure on Gambit. Again, mentioned it in the first half, but Hobbit leading in the map so far. Tons of impact. We've seen it. We remember a Hobbit flick, and he's going to be on T side, taking a lot of opening duels in very crafty ways. Like, he'll make it seem like an aggressive lurk, and then the team will be right behind him, but that's who they got to watch for, I think, the most.
Not much to watch for here in round 17. Deagle on Shiro could be the most explosive moment. Very curious to see if Gambit themselves can pull some of these wild wins out of the hat like NAVI were able to with the lesser weapons.
Yeah.
There was, what, 3 rounds like that to NAVI's favor in the first, so that could very well make the difference in the end. We'll see as time goes on, but for now, Gambit going to take their time as they start to trickle towards mid.
Yeah, definitely standout performer for me in that first half from NAVI was Bits. You know, 11-11, but key frags for sure. Key frags. This is a simple farm, of course. Gets to play window, rack up all the RWS, all the rating.
A quick little mow down. Inter's going to try to emerge from smoke, but Electronic Barrel stuffs him. That's NAVI with a very clean conversion. 5 guys up, 1 round the difference. About to be a tied game.
That was like a free ability to tilt. You know, if Gambit won the pistol in this situation, NAVI knows they could still come back into it, but it's a mood changer to be able to grab a pistol, easy conversion, and now you get to see just, you know, 2 teams tied up with guns in just a second, potentially. Actually, the buy's not, you know, as we've seen so many times, the buy is not as convincing sometimes to the CT side. So promises to work with, and one of them is out quick, man. That was the right call, it looks like.
There's the answer. Oh, and an even further response, but Boomich getting the better of Hobbit. That makes things a little bit more evened out.
God, you got to appreciate how simple that is, right? That isn't one player swinging out mid-dry. That's like 4 players all at the same time, ready for all the action in case there's an aggressive lurk or aggressive look from the CT side, or in this case, a situation where they're just trying to boost into ladder room to get some kind of easy setup for a long round ready. Gambit have the perfect stylistic choice. Oh, man. and a wide open site.
Yeah. CT's nowhere to be found here at the A site.
Wow, wow, wow. The health bars are, you know, don't inspire confidence if you're Gambit, but they're going to be very happy to find there's not a single target here to worry about.
Yeah, that was such an instantaneous clash, like you're talking about. Tons of bodies trying to fly out.
And then,
Ooh, that opens the door. That opens it up because there's also no bomb plant. So check out Fullmatch. He is just running through that T-spawn. This went from like, you know, a contemplatable save to a tantalizing attempt.
No, that's an absolute game changer. They have they have no timing on Fullmatch right now.
Nope.
This could be the 1v2. Shiro and Axel have less HP than him combined.
He's not watching. Fullmatch drops bomb. He's gonna fade away, jumps back, flash deep. Oh, but he loses his duel.
He doesn't hit any bullets.
Axile versus Fullmatch in the 1v1. Gambit come out on top and their 10th round secured.
Damn. He just crouches right underneath all of those bullets. I think it's only right that Gambit win this round the way they played it. It was the perfect stylistic choice. Go dry, swing out mid, full force. They found all their trades there. They were versus FAMAS's, and there was this feeling of Navi. We need to trade this. We want to trade this right now. We have the tease out mid. Let's go ahead and do it. But that's the thing. Like, you can try to define Gambit as this team that slow crawls, puts pressure, and wraps you like a boa constrictor slowly, but once in a while they'll throw out a T round like that, and you'll have to rethink how you look at the roster. And that's the whole point of that, is to make sure you can't do that early round boost, to make sure you drop your nades early. Look at this.
You saw him. Perfecto's gonna have a false sense of confidence, but look at that bullet hole right there in the wall. That just whizzed by. Oh, and on the A site, we've got Hobbit down for the count. NAVI could go for the attempted trade, but he's looking to slip into this site unnoticed. Fullmatch also kind of doing the same thing here, playing with just a millimeter of a margin. But that FAMAS stays sharp, and the 5v3 secured here for Navi. Oh, but as Simple's falling off of the ticket booth, Inter's catching him with the headshot. Now, the bomb's not been spotted, but it does, of course, belong to the ramp man. Shiro's able to get in through connector. This is Gambit just leaking through the cracks of Navi's defense. Axile versus Bit, big fight, and the AK comes out top.
And they're holding steady. They have the bomb on the ramp, and they're really hoping they can take it to this site, and Navi have not moved a muscle.
Holy hell. Again, these trades back and forth. Another round just like the last one that's gonna come down to the tightest of margins. Fullmatch with the op tucked behind ticket, 15 seconds on the clock. Shiro, he's gonna need to double back and grab bomb. Perfecto's now here to try and help. Axile could alleviate the jungle player, but Shiro does it on his own, and he's gonna start planting. Fullmatch, does he rush? He could push. Nope, Shiro doubles back.
Oh my God.
And Gambit emerge with a 3-round lead yet once more.
Oh my God. There's like a famous Russian chess grandmaster that said, maintain pressure, my friend. Maintain pressure. And this is exactly what they did. I can't believe the amount of players that just came out one after another, and that was almost the reason that they lost. The third player finally coming out ramp, and Navi not rotating in that spot when they could have gone towards the B site. That almost cost them, but man, Gambit are just so convincing in these mid rounds.
It feels like it goes against so much of textbook CS. These walkouts, there's no tethering between players. You know, they're building the picture, but in terms of those moments, those individual plays, a lot of that could have gone untraded.
Man, the idea is just to induce frustration as much as possible.
It's got to be working. This one should be the freebie. Should be. And so far, so good. 5v3 here for Gambit. Not going to fall victim by the looks of things to what they did in those first 15 rounds. This one just shoved deep in their back pocket. They've got it. 12-8 lead on the T side of Navi's map pick.
Yeah, and they're working hard, and it's paying off. We gotta recap that last round again.
Go back.
Hobbit lurking out of halls. Axile in upper B. Both of them taking duels individually. 2 players coming up out of the ramp. How cheap are they? They're not spending any money on utility whatsoever. And the entire time, Navi have to be worried. Can we peek with nades out? Can we throw something? Can we take map control back? Do we have time to move? It's such a mental win to be able to pull off a round like that. It's going to scare the life out of you on CT side. Navi are just, burning calories holding on to these angles. They look like dehydrated SpongeBob staring at a ramp, just waiting for the moment that a player comes out, and then 1 second later he does.
This is a replay back to the gun round that Mohan's alluding to. All of those little fights. The walkouts, as you said, with no utilities, just duels, and finding Simple like that, falling midair.
Yeah.
Crucial moment.
Yeah, that's the other piece of the puzzle, right? Not every team has this many good players in a row on it.
Mid-emphasis here from Navi. As they get back into the gun rounds, they're looking for early real estate. What can we find for free? And mid is nearly theirs for the taking, but Axile perfectly timed with the lesser weapon, turns it up into bit, drills him to the wall. And we've got a 5v2 at this point. It's gonna get turned back slightly by Simple. He's got Perfecto to work with, but Inters is planting bomb. This is Gambit just steamrolling their way to a 13th round win. Simple's gonna catch one deep in the CT spawn, but on 12 health, they need to go for the save. They've got to walk away and concede a 13th. Navi are bleeding.
Absolutely. Dude, you don't hit flicks like that in deathmatch. I mean, where do you find these angles? What is this second frag from Axile? It's only the MAC-10. If he got traded, though, it would have been 4-4. Instant 5v3, and it's over bit of all people. Ooh. That's a tough one to write home about. That is a brutal round, man. I mean, now the money comes into question. Simple. One other gun on this round's in Perfecto. They can feel it now. Look at this 5-round game. Gambit are coming close. We had NAVI yelling once. And that was after a really tenuous mid-round. Came down to the wire. Navi had the right sight, and they still pulled it off. And that's because that round meant so much. That round mentally showed them that they could do it, that they could be clutch, that they could be calm in situations where they weren't favored or they thought they were going to an empty site and they weren't. They've been able to pull off these absolutely fantastic trades and keep up with the level of individual skill that Navi have right now. And this is already the most lopsided it's been for Navi on Mirage since forever. Looks like there's no investment behind these guns as well. Just a few bits of utility here and there. Some armor bought up to even out the money in total. But no X factor, just 2 rifles.
Two CTs on the forward A stance. Simple doing the window dance. Jumps back up and waits just next to ladder. It's not Axile on his own this time. He's brought the in-game leader of Gambit.
You see how perfect of a matchup this is. Like, we compare the defaults right now, and we're taking the map control here from Gambit, but they're way more careful about it because they know that Navi CT side is conversely a lot more active. So they push up to a point, they wait, and they're looking for the engagements. They've shied Navi off of one of their more aggressive tactics right here. The setup gets pushed, and it looks like the slow split towards B is oncoming.
This could be a deadly split, but the CTs do get ahead of it. 40 seconds. Gambit able to clear out the ladder room.
The rotations are
This is
good,
going to
though.
be a hell of a firefight, a massive clash inside of the B site. A 14th round and a 6-round lead. That is what's on the line. And first 2 bodies fall empty-handed. Those are the rifles out of the way. Bit with just the deagle trying to find the target. It is an empty-handed Navi crumbling beneath Gambit as they stomp across this B site. Nobody holds them back. Nothing whatsoever.
I expected Navi to win this game in 25 rounds. I thought for sure. Mirage, like, this is theirs. This is something else. That was such a perfect anti-eco setup from Gambit. All the flashes were so well timed, of course. They pushed the aggressive CT players off of their position safely. They just hit that site full force. And Navi did the right thing, of course. They didn't have the utility to fight back on the map control aspects, so they do the rotation towards the site that they feel like is going to be hit. And they get 3 players inside the site, but none of those players get kills. So 2 rifles down, and they're in unobtainable spots for Na'Vi. They'll have these 2 5.7s, or this 5.7 and Deagle. They'll sit back and save. Gambit are on fire in the second half, and even though the first half was quite competitive, this one looked anything but.
We had the pistol, we had the conversion, and then it's been nothing but Gambit on this T side. A good amount of posturing going on here inside of the B site, but neither of those rifle players were even given much of a chance. So a 6-round deficit favoring Gambit, 14-8 on Navi's map pick. 2 more rounds to take this away and lead us into Ancient.
About damn time.
Yeah, for the first time in the last 2 Blast events, we have not had it, and yet it feels closer than ever. Na'Vi gonna have to extend that delay. Smoke straight in the face of Hobbit. He just chills out. They hold towards twat. Ooh, hold towards
We call
top
it
mid.
twat.
I didn't. I didn't make fun of you when you ibidabba did it there.
How dare you?
Mister.
How dare you even think about it? It's already a thought crime right there.
Underpass has been a pretty good avenue for Gambit's attacks, I feel. Really well timed on some of those exits. Shiro's ready to come combine. And a deep nade will chip a 5th off Axile. Bit, perfect headshot, and Simple finds one. Gotta be cautious on the fallback, because Hobbit's eyes now able to pry into A site if needed. 35 seconds yet again. Check out Bomb, though, sort of stranded. Still sitting towards Cat, of all things. And the challenge starts to unfold towards the A site, but a moment of hesitation here from Inters, and Electronic's gonna punish that. Goes on the attack. Maybe this round just fizzles out from Gambit, kind of getting towards that finish line, and the intimidation sinks in. This one falls flat. Na'Vi 5 strong.
Yeah, no, I mean, how many times have we seen this from Gambit? That is their brand, and a lot of the rounds in the past, in this half already, we've seen could have fizzled out in the exact same way, right? They just defaulted. They spread very little grenades. They tried to get an edge off on just one 50-50 engagement, tried to catch someone off slightly, use a flash here or there, really make it unclear exactly where they're going to peek, and then peek 2 or 3 things at the same time. And then that's why you can have a situation like this. So Navi's default works out well. They're comfortable pushing back on all of these little maneuvers that Gambit are trying to pull off, and have now made this game at least a slightly more competitive. They're still looking for dignity here. They're still 5 rounds behind. Gambit are trying a default that has already brought them so much success, and that's the exact right call that you should make. You know, why should you try to fix what's not broken? And now that Gambit have that moment, they call it T timeout, they can discuss what they want to do that's different, and they can use that round as data, because Na'Vi haven't showed us a different look yet. We'll see if they take the aggression to its absolute limits, if they want to run up to the top of mid or do a double upper B push or something like that. But if that's not the case, I think Gambit are going to feel very comfortable. You know, it's never been a question, though, of Gambit as a roster and how good they are. It's about how well they play under pressure. That's the simple fact of it. That's what Groove was talking about. That's what's representative of their LAN performances. Although they've been good, they've showed us that they're great. Oh my God. What,
Down goes Simple.
what a shot, man.
Can Electronic bail them out? Axile flashed and dealt with. That's the heaviest hitter from Gambit's squad. Answered back as Simple falls to the wayside for Na'Vi. It's a 4v4 at least. But how do you get Electronic out of dodge? He's stuck down into the underpass, and, well, there could have been somebody sitting at top mid, but Nafany's going to allow that exit. Now we have Gambit lean back on the clock. Still plenty of time to play.
Dude, Na'Vi have no flashbangs even, so he'll be able to get out of there, and Gambit are going to allow him. But I fear that as this round goes on, it's going to be Na'Vi to potentially run out of utility first, but they've got some of the key ones. They still have 2 smokes and Incendiary to work with. It looks like Gambit will walk it down mid. Knowing that Simple's dead allows you to take even more freedoms than you are already willing to take. Ooh. Oh, wait a second. No. He took out Shiro, and I think that it was spot. Nafany finds a frag on Electronic. B-split's coming. 40 seconds up. Perfecto moves into the back of the site, but there's no pressure off of Cat. We've got one in the window.
Hobbit gets dinked down to 11.
But look where the lurk is coming from.
Frag, oh, he gets nailed. Perfecto gonna try to get out in time. He's got wind of what's happening. NAVI coming around this corner. He gets it. Oh, it's down to the 2v2, but Bit will make his difference. And we've got the bomb still on Inters. 15 seconds. How does he get in? And how does he manage to get this bomb down without being swarmed? He won't. The timing's perfect. Catching him just as he attempts his entry. Down he goes. And we've got NAVI with a 10th at least.
At least 2 in a row, 2 full rifle rounds down. Showing composure and resilience in a very scary spot. It looked like Bit, I was like, oh, is he gonna swing on the second kill? And it looks like he made the right decision. Staying alive longer allowed him to have even more efficacy as the round played out. And this is a nice little gap where he says, all right, I'm going to peek. That's Inters unable to even put the bomb down. But another buy here for Gambit, and they come through the fast tactic once again. And Shiro, he steps into the Molotov and then continues forward. They're maintaining this pressure, but okay, now Hobbit will get out of there. Get scary at Tetris. The molly lands before him. That damage still will count for something. Fullmatch already battle scarred. 127 into the round.
Whew. Just works the ladder back down. There's a lot of forces getting ahead of this ramp play, and boom, he's already low.
Yeah, there's not going to be a far flash in this situation. Perfecto just on a swivel. I think that this setup, with the way they're going to flash it, so I think he's dead. I think Boomich is dead in this position.
Ooh.
Oh,
no.
Wait, they didn't flash it.
A double! A triple!
Oh my god!
Boomich locks in the bomb and pushes into it as well. This is so much control. Not to mention double man advantage. He had so little to work with, and that's all they needed. Everybody else secures their kills. Only 3 rounds the gap now.
Wow, okay, that was a weird moment. Okay, they had 2 players approaching the ramp like they normally do. This is a very common tactic for Gambit, but they had Inters in a position to throw a flash for the ramp. They decided not to do it. They wanted to go the total incognito route, and it's just crazy, man. Gambit, like, they're just so comfortable doing that. They throw the full exec, they just have no regard for anyone potentially playing in the ramp. Maybe it's because Shiro did that damage to Boomich early on, or the fact that they were making that aggressive move with Hobbit and Shiro out through the smoke in the beginning. But that's where they messed up. That could have been a free one. Instead, now NAVI look like geniuses. 3 rifle rounds straight, and look who still has money.
Pressure, man. We talk about the pressure being the folly of Gambit. When the pressure was at its highest at the major, we saw the blowout that was the NAVI victory.
Absolutely. The craziest part about this NAVI is they've had to come back in some of their biggest matches. I mean, even though they've been able to have dominant score lines, nuke streaks, and everything, huge tournament wins, apart from the major where they didn't drop any maps, they've had very close games. They had situations like versus G2 on nuke where they had to come back all the way back from like 14-8. But the thing is, they've done that consistently. All that wear and tear is going to do a lot for your stamina. They put in the reps. Certainly Gambit are a touch shaken now. And even though we've seen 3 rifle rounds in a row, this one will be the last for Gambit if they lose. And then suddenly match point will seem farther than it ever has.
Ooh, he drops. That's heard. Oh, but he still gets one. Boomich could catch him off. No, he escapes instead. Doesn't decide to push the issue. And a flubbed Molotov's going to keep Hobbit away from being able to chase. So this gives a little bit more wiggle room for Boomich to just lean back and find his cubby, find his safety, and tuck in. Hope to dig in.
Well, they quite simply just let him work. There's 30 seconds left, and Boomich is sitting in ticket. But again, this can be a neutered position where you will sit, you'll look for info, you might come out for one fight. If you're super sharp that day, you'll get that trade instantly and stay alive, but you're certainly not going to be able to stop the execute completely, and Boomich goes down.
Bit tries to run forward. He's got a lot of targets. Oh my goodness, they're able to shave 2 off the play. Axile again down from underpass, keeping it clean until Simple drops him. And this is a 1v3 attempt, but with 5 health, he has to somehow piece together these 2 kills. And as he swaps through hardware, we've got Gambit's players splitting the difference and taking the extremities of this bomb site, one towards Ticket and one tucked in Palace. A difficult task and a massive ask for Simple. A smoke on his utility belt. He could have gone and tried to piece out with Palace, but instead he leans back, grabs the op, and gives away 15.
Man.
4 map points for Gambit to secure the first map of this best of 3.
As soon as one person dies, it's an entire explosion. We're going to have an entire frag movie from Axile in this one position if he keeps this up. Coming out of underpass, switching on a dime, looking like he was just pre-aiming both targets. Like, beautiful rifle work out of Axile. That's what made this convincing. 3 push off the cat, and at least Bit and Simple get their first 2 kills, but the clap back is even louder.
The impact from Axile on underpass.
That's not even a position.
It's not, but he's making it look like one. Gambit break through that little resurgence from Navi. Those 3 rounds in a row that kept it close could all be for naught. Ooh, but Simple still got
no more
some
walking
fight.
up the A ramp, he said.
Just turns him back.
He's sick of it.
Return to the Shire.
That was just so important. Maybe there were just a number of rounds. They could have had an op sitting lazily, holding the A ramp, and just won off of that. No surprise Gambit tried again. They just have not been punished. Every round could be the last. Gambit 4v5, but still have odds.
Ooh, nice nade. 40 health off Nafany. As if fighting back from the 4v5 wasn't going to be hard enough. Electronic.
That's the
red.
Oh,
red like a book.
Bit will come off cat. Oh, he can't get the second player. Shiro looks right back to make sure that he hasn't pushed farther.
Bit of utility here. That's going to stave off what could be the cat assistance for Fullmatch. He is a solo A play. All that's here to try and stop this bomb plant. And Shiro, he's going to stick around towards middle, so these rotates are going to be even harder. And look at this. Bit is going to fall unsuspectingly to Shiro's off. A back turned and a shot that connects. Now it falls onto Fullmatch. 10 seconds to deny Gambit from being able to get this bomb plant and to attempt their 16th round win. He's firing off and he falls just in the nick of time. No spray connects. It needs to be the retake here for the 2v3. Perfecto and Simple. They're going to start to push it forward. Axile already in sandwich. It needs to fall on the Undertaker himself. Can he do it? Can he connect all 3? Piecing together the picture with still a little bit of time, but Shiro comes out with the op scoped in, and there it is. A Mirage win for Gambit. They steal away the map pick, and they're taking this to Ancient, where it feels like we've got a hell of an unknown. But this is not the easy peasy reverse sweep from the lower bracket. This is a tested Navi.